meeting of April 1st, 2025 at our new starting time, 7 p.m. Okay, may we have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Chavez?
Here.
Councilmember Chen? Absent. Councilmember Mann?
Here.
My apologies. Councilmember Yu?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Mann?
Here.
Mayor Sternquist?
Here.
Motion to excuse Councilmember Chen.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. We move to item 3, the invocation, and we have Jerry Jambazian here, owner of Wonder Cleaners and Draperies, located at 9136 Los Tunas Drive. Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's bow in prayer. Our gracious Heavenly Father, it's good to be in your presence tonight as the business of this great city is discussed. You have been good to us, providing great leadership as we continue the legacy of a family-friendly city. As we celebrate tonight our Older American of the Year, Cindy Vance, we recognize and celebrate all of our seniors who have impacted our lives for the good. April is a month of renewal with Easter approaching and seeing hundreds of children at Live Oak Park for the Easter egg hunt in a few weeks. As I close, dear Lord, I continue to pray for our country and the work they are doing to ensure a peaceful society for us all. Also, we continue to uphold all those who protect and serve us, such as our Station Temple deputies and Station 47. We ask this all in your name and for your glory. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Dawn, would you lead us in the flag salute?
Ready to begin? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we move to item 5, ceremonial matters, Older American of the City Year Recognition. And Adam? We have Director Matsumoto here, and he will introduce the person to us.
Thank you, Mayor Sternquist. Good evening, members of the City Council. It is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today as we recognize a truly exceptional individual for their contributions to our community. The Temple City Older American of the Year Award is an accolade that honors someone who embodies the values of service, perseverance, and community building. This year's recipient has demonstrated her commitment time and again through her civic engagement in the following areas: the Temple City's General Plan Advisory Committee, of course, our Parks and Recreation Commission, TCUSD's Facilities Bond Measure Citizens Oversight Committee, the Temple City Relay for Life, Temple City Chamber of Commerce, Greater Los Angeles Homeless Count, Friends of the Temple City Library, Temple City Kiwanis, and serving on the LA County Civil Grand Jury. This list may represent her accomplishments, but it doesn't fully encapsulate her altruistic nature and effervescent spirit. Please join me in recognizing their extraordinary achievements and continued dedication to making Temple City a better place for all. This year's Temple City Older American of the Year is Miss Cynthia Vance.
Thank you, Adam. Cindy? Council, do you want to come up so we can take a picture also? I'm just signing this, and we need to get Ed's.
We have a certificate.
I said hi. Thank you for the honor.
Cindy, we're going to take a picture right now, but go up there. So the City of Temple City would like to present you with a certificate of recognition on behalf of the citizens of Temple City. We present this to Cynthia Travis Vance, Older American of the Year 2025. In recognition of your invaluable life experiences, wisdom, and profound historical knowledge, as well as the contributions you have made and continue to make to the culture, economy, and character of the city of Temple City. Thank you.
Yeah. On the side, Cindy. Yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah, right there. And everybody this way a little bit. A little more.
Over this way?
Yep, that's perfect, right there. Okay? Up in these indeed. Great, thank you. Yes, Adam.
Okay, and Cindy will be honored this coming Saturday at Live Oak Community Center. So we look forward to celebrating with her and friends and family. And hopefully some of you can come also. Okay. Public comments on items not listed on the agenda. The City Council will now hear public comments regarding items not listed on the agenda. And we have, is this for later on, Peggy? It says 6 for now. Jingli. We have Jingli.
Good evening, Mayor Sundquist, Mayor Pro Tem Mann, City Council and City staff. This is Jeannie from Temple City Library. I'm here tonight to give you our updates about library programs. We're very happy Temple City this year is selected to host the Library Feast events. I give you the flyer. And there will be 5 libraries for the entire county library system. So basically it's 1 library per super district. So we're very lucky we're going to host this program. So the Library Fest is all about to bring the community member into the local library to enjoy the free programs and service. And our program will be held on Saturday, April 19 from 1 to 4 p.m. Please join us for an afternoon of fun. There will be photo booths and face painting, art activity, magic show, and giveaway and refreshment is for the entire family. Thanks for Mayor Sundquist's generous donation, the library was able to purchase books related to coin collection. So this book will be displayed in the library maybe starting in 2 weeks. We don't want to put out too soon so people will check it out. So by the time we have the library fest, all the books are gone. So some of the books are the only copy we have for the entire county library system. Thank you for your suggestion. We just realized that we actually don't have too much books on coin collections. So feel free to drop by to check out the wonderful collection. And then this Friday, April 4 at 4 p.m., we'll have a financial aid workshop for teens. So we'll talk about all the financial aids the teen may be eligible for. And then they will learn about how to fill out the FAFSA form as well. We're also accepting teen volunteers now. So if any high school students need community service hours, they can come to a library to fill out the application. April 6th to April 12th is the National Library Week. So customers of all age can visit the library to explore our programs and service. And they will receive a prize by completing a library drawing sheet and return to the staff. Also, April is the Art Month. It is an opportunity to celebrate the art and artists in LA County. We're giving out a civic art passport. so customer can visit the 22 libraries with civic artwork and get their civic art passport stamped and receive a prize. So for more information, please visit our website, which is lacountylibrary.org, or give us a call at 626-285-2136. Thank you.
Thank you, Jing. A lot going on in the library.
Yes.
Okay. We move to item 7, our consent calendar. All consent calendar items may be approved in a single motion as recommended unless removed for further discussion. Is there anyone who would like to pull an item?
Motion to approve consent calendar?
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. We're going to take a 5-minute recess. We have a council member who is on his way right now.
Oh, no, after the consent, sorry.
Oh, okay.
My bad. Sorry, Mayor.
So
Take a vote.
we need to take a roll call.
Councilmember Chavez?
Yes.
Councilmember Chen? Absent. Councilmember Yu?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Man?
Yes.
Mayor Stenquist?
Yes. So we'll take a 5-minute break right now. Okay, we're going to move on to item 8, public hearing, none, unfinished business, none, new business, Lost Tunas Drive Streetscape, Art on Boxes campaign. The City Council is requested to approve artwork for use in the Art on Boxes campaign, ABC or campaign, as part of the Lost Tunas Drive Streetscape project. And we have our Community Development Director here, Scott.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I just want to let you know that Aaron Stone from Studio 1111 is with us on Zoom as well. So if we have questions specifically about some of the artwork or about how the program works, she can provide us additional information. So with that, I wanted to walk you through the presentation. So the structure of this program is different than some public art programs. We've hired 1111 Projects, which is a nonprofit that's completely focused on public art. And they've been hired as a consultant to help us manage all the different artists and to manage the work of actually doing the painting and the maintenance.
Quick question. So are we following the report in the agenda, or are we following the one that was sent this way? The structure of the program?
This is,
Is this the one that was sent to us a
this
couple days ago?
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep. So Studio 1111 does, or 1111 Projects has experience working with youth, which is a component that we're going to talk about in a few minutes. That's one of their core specialties. They have experience working both in Arcadia and all over the city of LA. They've done over 120 boxes, so they've got quite a bit of experience. In terms of the work that's already been done, they've already received submissions for the artwork. They've received over 150 submissions. So one of their big tasks was just narrowing that down to a sizable, manageable number for the staff and Parks and Recreation Commission and for the ad hoc, and now you, the council, to review. In the next phase of the process, they'll be paying the artist. They will be scheduling and managing the installation of the artwork. They'll be setting requirements for how to prepare the boxes before they get painted to make sure that the paint doesn't just flake off. They'll be specifying appropriate paints, what is the right type of paint to work with. And then they're also going to be working with our maintenance staff to make sure that the correct graffiti protection is placed on the utility boxes to make cleaning easier.
Madam Mayor, may I ask a quick question? So, are these boxes all owned by the city?
Yes.
Okay, so we don't need anybody's
We don't
permission
need-
to paint them? Okay.
Thankfully, yeah. Made the project much easier.
All right, thank you.
In terms of maintenance, that's always an issue with public art. There is an anti-graffiti coating that's going to be put on after the work is completed. The city's maintenance staff will be the first kind of line of defense to try to remove any damage. 1111 Projects has experience with this and can provide us some expertise on how to do that. If they're unsuccessful in removing the graffiti, 1111 will work with the artist to maintain the integrity of the artwork for at least 2 years. So that will cover us. The council and the ad hoc wanted to have a youth component as part of the project. So in terms of scope, we looked at an art project that would allow the artist to work with local youth in a mentoring capacity. So they would be helping the local artists, the young people, obtain or refine the skills that they already have. So the next step will be, once you've picked out the artwork, would be for 1111 Projects to reach out to the school district and see if there's any students in the school district who would like to be a part of the project. So they'll be reaching out to Temple City Unified. And their goal will be to have one youth worker with each artist. So it's kind of a 1-to-1 type ratio.
They're not going to be creating the art, they're just going to be like filling in.
Right. They'll be helping with the application, and then the public art people will be kind of talking to them about their job and about public art and how to get into the profession.
Vincent?
So, yeah, so would these young people be just part of the team? They don't replace the artists who submitted these submittals, right? So, but they are helping to coordinate the installation.
That's correct.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So we provided them a number of different themes to try to build off art that would help create Temple City's unique sense of place. So these are some of the different themes that you'll see in the different artworks. A lot of them do focus on camellias because that's such a part of who we are. It's in our motto. There's the Camellia Festival and so forth. But you'll see little glimpses of a rocket, some parrots, the teapots, and you'll see some artistic designs from mid-century aesthetics. So you'll see the terminus of the red car and some ones that are more space-oriented, given Stephen Lindsay's residency here. So you'll see different aspects of these kind of pulled together. Each of the boxes we realize are different. So what you see today isn't exactly what's going to appear on the box, because they might have to morph it a little bit to get it to fit on the box that they're assigned. The boxes are generally not on Las Tunas. They're a little bit off Las Tunas. They're down the side streets. And in this picture here, you can see that there's 2 different boxes, 2 different sizes. They are allowed to put a signature on the box. They know in advance that there's certain images that they cannot have that are prohibited. And all the artwork does need to be original to the artist. So what's before you tonight are 30 different designs. There are only 26 boxes, so we would like your help in trying to whittle that down to 4 backups and 26 primaries. So we're looking for 4 that we want to kind of move to the backup position. You will see a broad mix of different styles from different artists who are from, some are kind of closer by locally, some are kind of from the larger Los Angeles region. And I would just say that like any museum or most museums you go to, there will be some pieces of art that connect better with you, and there'll be some that you may not like as much. And I think that was one of the results of this project, was that we tried to get a diverse group of people to give us their diverse ideas about Temple City and what makes it special. So you're going to see kind of that flavor as we walk you through those. So, okay. With that, I just wanted to give you also a kind of idea about next step and how long it's going to take, and then we'll go through the actual artwork. So back in November, we met with the Parks and Rec Commission. They, as your public art committee, provided some initial feedback. We took all of that to the ad hoc back in December. We're before you tonight. And then in April, Project 1111 will be reaching out to Temple City Unified to get some of the youth component moving forward. And then we'll start scheduling the painting dates in May, and then we'll expect in May and June to start applying the artwork and putting up the anti-graffiti protection. Given the number of boxes that need to be done, you won't see it all happen on one weekend, but you'll likely see it over a couple of weekends. So these are the first four designs that are before you tonight. The ad hoc just had one comment on the art number 4 here. There was questions about whether the writing on that was commercial advertisement or whether it was what the language was, and they did clarify for us that it was not a commercial advertisement. So that's important because commercial advertisement's not allowed on the boxes. So that was, I think it means like a magical teapot or heavenly teapot.
Yeah, heavenly teapot.
Heavenly.
Yeah.
Teapot from heaven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The word literally means sky. Sky
Sky.
pot. Yeah. Question. When we see Temple City artists, what does that mean? The artists from Temple
Oh,
City?
yes, that means the artist is from the city, yeah. So
I see.
the ones that were either from Temple City or from like a surrounding city like El Monte or San Gabriel, we did note that those were a local artist.
Will their names be disclosed at some point?
We can disclose them, yeah, and they will be signing the boxes.
Nice to know who they are,
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially if they're Temple City residents.
absolutely.
One other question. When you mentioned about the youth involvement, would the youth be paid or are they expected to volunteer?
I don't think that was part of the program paying the youth.
Oh, okay.
To follow up on that question, one of the first items you listed on your report was to pay the artists. Oh, I'm sorry. My mic's not on. Was to pay the artists. So when and how much are we paying these artists? I didn't see anything in the report about that. Is that to be determined, or how's that going to? And
Sure,
are some artists going to be paid more than others because of their expertise, or?
Sure, I think that's a good question for Aaron. So we pay one fee to Project 1111 based on the number of boxes. So we pay a per box fee.
Oh, so 1111 is actually going to be paying the artists?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, it wasn't very clear, but, okay, and, okay, so that's just included in the fee that we're paying them?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So in the next slide, we have 5, 6, and 7. The feedback from the ad hoc on image number 5, originally the flowers were more tulip looking, so the artist revised that into more of a camellia shape. And then in the artwork for number 7, there's a street sign in the bottom left corner. It used to say Rosemead Boulevard. The ad hoc asked the artist if they'd be willing to change that to Las Tunas, since all the artwork's going to be kind of focused around Las Tunas, and the artist made that change. And then on the artwork for number 8, the artwork between the two palm trees, there were they looked almost more like sand dunes. They were kind of more rounded, brownish tan shapes. So we asked the artist to maybe study what might be better, maybe like mountains, since we do have the mountains behind us in Temple City. And so they revised that to show mountains in the background rather than the prior shape. So those changes have been made per the ad hoc. Image number 9, there were no changes requested there. The central figure there are the Las Tunas cactus paddles. But in images 10, 11, and 12, it was kind of a journey through the process. So these 3 originally were a series of 3 images that were tied into the Chinese signs of the zodiac. So there was a dragon, a serpent, and a horse. And so the original comments from Parks and Rec Commission was, well, why did you choose these specific years and not other years or not other animals? And the ad hoc kind of asked the same question, why these, why not either tell a story or why not put all the animals, and kind of split them up between different boxes. So we provided that feedback to the artist, and then this is what returned. So they kind of stepped away from the zodiac signs and instead replaced them with, in number 10, a peacock, number 11, the parrots, and then a number 12, the band-tailed pigeon, which is a locally native. It's a native pigeon species.
Would I be correct to assume these are from same artist? all
Yes,
three?
same artist, yes, sir.
So the ones that we saw before,
Mm-hmm.
it appears to me that they were individual artists, right? Is this the first of them, the first series that we have the same person?
Yes.
Represents 3 times?
Yeah, there was the same artist who did the 3 Chinese signs of the zodiac, and this is the same artist who did 3 replacements.
Yeah, that was one of my questions. So we have artists who have more than one selection.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, I'm sorry.
No, go
1
ahead.
through 9 are individuals, and 10, 11, 12, same person.
Yes.
Okay.
You mentioned, I'm sorry, Las Tunas cactus, is that the term? I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah.
We
it's-
have a Las Tunas cactus?
Yeah, Las Tunas is a name for those large paddled cactus. And that's the one that's shown here.
Wait, wait.
In
That's
slide
just the
number 9.
name generically of them, wherever they're located. It has nothing to do with Las Tunas, correct?
I don't know how Las Tunas got its name, but it is the name of a cactus.
Oh, okay, so that is a Las Tunas cactus?
Yes, sir.
Interesting, okay. Didn't know that. Wouldn't, go ahead.
Yeah.
One more question, more of a procedure thing. So you're showing out all these pictures. Of course, we're seeing them in slideshow given, but do we expect to vote on this after we're through to which 4 will go on as backup? Or is that the intent?
That's the intent today, sir. Yes. So we want to get the primary 26 and the 4 that would be backups in case one of these artists could not perform the duties of constructing and doing the artwork on the utility box.
But let's say we pick this particular artist, for example, if he or she couldn't perform, then all 3 would not.
We would be short. At least we'd be short 1, so we'd have to scramble a little bit to figure out what to do.
No, we would be +1 if we have 4 we're holding back and 3 fall off. You're +1, aren't you? You're gonna take 3 of the 4 that are held over, and you'll still have one in the bullpen.
Yes,
Yes.
we would.
Yeah.
I have a question about the attachment in the staff report. There's some of them that has this red text that says not recommended. Can you clarify who, or like, not recommended by who? Because the others are pretty clear, like we have the feedback from the Parks and Rec Commission and the ad hoc, that was pretty clear, but I'm not sure what the red text, is that from,
The red text was staff's original recommendation.
oh, that's staff's original.
Yeah, sorry
Got it.
about that.
Okay.
And just a follow-up to that, I'm a little confused because it seems like we've gotten two reports. We've got the report and attachment to the agenda, and now we have this other different thing we're looking at now on the screen. So I know you brought up, on some you have some writing, some you don't, so which one are we supposed to go with?
Well,
We
I apologize for the confusion. There is a lot of information to digest.
Well, it might not be your fault. It might just be I'm just
We've been to
confused.
4 different hearings about this. But if you can just patiently walk through the presentation with me, I will try and walk you through it in a way that makes sense. We're almost through to some that have not been recommended, so then it will be very clear to you what hasn't been recommended and what the changes are.
The, excuse me, the one that I think Peggy sent to us actually have, the one I'm looking at, it actually says which one was recommended as backups.
No, the report has that, like, I'm looking at the attachment to the report, and number 12 says recommend as a backup.
Yes.
And I believe that what we have on our screen right now is the one that Peggy sent to us, but it doesn't have the recommended as a backup language.
Yes, I apologize. That was an error.
But neither here nor there. Sorry to interrupt, go ahead.
In slides 13 and 14, slide number 14 was not recommended. And in slide 16, the ad hoc asked the original design, the hills in the bottom.
14 you say is not recommended?
14 was not recommended.
Or you said recommend as a backup, right?
Was recommended as a backup.
14 is recommended as a backup as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Slide 16, originally the feedback was that the green at the bottom was all muddled, and that asked Project 1111 to meet with the artist and revise it, and so that's been revised. And then there was a comment from the ad hoc about adding some color to the lanterns, which were previously all red, and so the artist has revised it to provide some stripes, some red and yellow stripes.
And what is the writing on those teapots, do we know?
It's the same as in the prior slide's Heavenly Teapot.
Yeah, it's Heavenly Teapot. The other ones just have it upside down.
And that's the actual inscription on the actual teapot, right?
Yeah.
Just for
out there in
clarification.
Luston, that's what it looks like. Yeah, that's what how it reads.
Okay, slides 17 and 18, there was no feedback there. On images 19 and 20, there was no feedback from the ad hoc on those either. Slides 21.
So go back
Yes,
one
sir.
second. So 17, you have a name, Brenda Sebrian. Is that the artist?
That's the name of the artist.
Okay. How come we have her name but nobody else's?
Because I wasn't very good at whiting out all the names.
Oh, okay. It was an oversight. Good.
Do we know which city she's from?
The consultant does.
Okay, all right.
Slide 21, image 21, 22, 23, and 24. There were no comments from the commission or from the ad hoc on those either. And then slide 25 and 26. Slide 26, the original artwork, the moon was replaced with a large kind of arch sort of design that made the ad hoc committee think more about the gateway, which is part of a logo that Alhambra uses. So we asked the artist to kind of rethink studying that, and they replaced it with the moon design. Also, the flowers have been revised to look more camellia-esque. So that's been changed there. Slide 27 and 28. There were no changes on those images requested. And lastly, on images 29 and 30, sure.
About slide 28.
Yeah.
It appears that this artist
the name here?
put
Where's the name?
his name on top of the box. Is that something that I didn't see it on any other images?
They are limited to a certain size requirement. So I can't remember what it is offhand, but that would exceed it. So they'll need to revise that so it meets the size requirement.
okay.
Yeah, thank you for that. And then lastly, images 29 and 30. Number 30 was recommended as a backup because it didn't really signify Temple City. It was not related enough to the city. And then the ad hoc had asked for some changes to image 29. The original design had more like skyscrapers in the background between the mountains and the images you're seeing there. So the ad hoc asked for those skyscrapers to be removed, and they have been. The camellias that are kind of floating used to be more of a watermark, and now they've been made more prominent. That was not a request, but it was something that the artist changed.
And again, tell me who's doing the recommending Is it the ad hoc, or is it the Parks and Rec, or both?
So what's before you tonight are well, if you want to see all of the comments from the Parks and Rec Commission, those are in your packet. And they're in a green box that says Parks and Rec Commission. It's also attachment B.
Right.
Because the ad hoc also provided feedback, I've been kind of focusing on that tonight.
So the answer is from ad hoc.
Yes.
We recommend it as backup from ad hoc.
Yes. But if you want, I can walk you through the comments from the Public Parks and Rec Commission as well.
But, Councilmember Chavez answer this question. I do have a question on slide number 29.
Do we want to wait till we get to questions?
No.
Oh, on this one? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Has the artist been able, or did anybody ask the artist what images are these? I mean, I can recognize a couple of them, like the gazebo and the peacock.
No, in fact, we did ask the artist to maybe include a silhouette of City Hall or the clock tower in front of City Hall, but that was not added. No, I don't have an answer to your question. So with that, those are the different pieces of artwork that are before you tonight. We're looking for your assistance in recommending 4 backups of the 30 that have been presented.
Scott, do you have a slide with like mini versions of them, kind of side by side, like, or?
I can't put all of them on one
So what
image.
we can, if I can suggest, what we can maybe do is go through each set slowly.
Okay.
And just
That's a
Scott
good
can
idea.
remind which ones were suggested as backups. And then if you concur or not, we'll kind of follow through real quickly.
Okay.
So it appeared to me that the attachments to the agenda report are before the changes were made, whereas the slide you're showing to us now is after those changes have been made, correct?
Well, attachment B was before the changes were made. Attachment A was after the changes were
Okay.
made. Yep.
So we don't really need to focus on attachment B,
No, you don't need to.
right? Other than the comments that were maybe made.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So why don't we take a look at slides 1 through 4, pictures 1 through 4? Is that what you're thinking, Brian? And then
Yeah,
see if there's something we want as a backup from
And
this.
and Mr. Reimers can remind you if any of these were considered for backups prior from the feedback that we got.
Vince?
So we're discussing which way, but do we need to open up for
Oh,
public comment before we do that?
thank you, Councilmember Yu.
Do you want to do questions first and then public comment?
I think so. So why don't we do questions first? Vince?
I think I asked the questions I
You're good. Ed? William?
Yes, I do have a couple of questions. So I know all these boxes are different dimensions, located different areas. Is there any sense as to how these designs, which side they would be oriented more towards? Because for some of these panels, I see some as like the dominant panel, for lack of a better word. Would that be facing the street or would that be facing the sidewalk?
I think we can work with the artists on that. If you have a preference, we can make that preference to the artist.
No, not a preference. I'm just trying to understand, like, who would decide that? The artist or us or 11? So that's kind of up in the air?
Yes, I've yeah.
Okay. So going back to the youth component, my question is, if it's a one-to-one pairing, we're looking at quite a number of pairings then, potentially.
Yes. we don't have to have a student for every artist.
Okay.
But Project 1111 wanted to make it available to as many students as they possibly could.
We haven't reached out to anyone yet, have we?
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
And then my last question is, I don't know how to phrase this. Do we own the artwork, or is that, I guess what I'm trying to get at is, can art that's not used be used for a future city project of some sort? Or does it belong solely to the artist or 1111, and this is like a one and done deal?
That's a good question for Aaron. Aaron, can you answer that question?
Do I need to unmute her?
Hard time hearing the question. I hear somebody faintly.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just barely, though.
Yeah, I'm having a very, very hard time hearing you all as well.
We can hear you better now. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay.
If you could just repeat the question,
Sure.
because I'm having a difficult time hearing.
Yeah, can you hear me okay right now? I'm
I'm sorry?
Can you hear me? I'm like right next to the mic.
I believe the person that I can hear the best is the mayor. If the mayor could potentially repeat the question?
I'll use her mic. Can you hear me better?
No.
So
Who will own the artwork? Thank you. I'm seeing that in the chat.
Yeah.
Who will own the artwork? So the artist retains full copyright of their artwork always through our contracts, but the artist is licensing usage of that artwork to 1111 and Temple City. The restrictions on that license prohibit any commercial reproductions of the artwork, so nothing can be sold. However, all of the artwork is licensed to be used on websites, to be put on social media, to promote the project as well as the city.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And how long does that license last?
I'm sorry, one more time?
How long does the license last?
And as long as the artwork is up. So in perpetuity, with the same lifespan as the art itself.
Okay. Tom, do you have anything else?
Yeah. Did 1111 do the boxes in Pasadena?
Pasadena, no. We have done most of the boxes in the San Fernando Valley, some of the boxes in Burbank, and then all of the boxes in Arcadia.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else? Any other questions? Okay, if no other questions, then I am going to open up public comment. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak? Nope. Okay, I'm going to close public. Mary? Yes, please come up to the podium.
I'm looking at some of the designs because my first degree is as an art major. On number 2, I didn't see comments about the second middle panel. It looks very busy. Other than that, the visions are very pretty. The other one was the peacock is just really bugging me.
It's more Arcadia, isn't it?
That's what comes to mind. I mean, we get peahens around our house. We're just above the high school, but when I see a peacock, it doesn't remind me of Temple City. Parrots remind me of Temple City, but not peacocks. But I had a question also about, have our students in Temple City been, I was getting a little confused. Were they given a chance to submit artwork, or is this strictly from artists who have submitted to this company?
Scott?
Yep. I think Aaron can answer that question about whether the students in Temple City had a chance to submit artwork.
Yes. The artist call was a widespread call.
Okay.
It was sent to community groups, art organizations, and schools throughout Temple City. Most of the responses that we get from these artist calls are emerging artists that are really hoping for one of their first 10 public art commissions. So we thought that this was a wonderful opportunity to involve the students through mentorship. However, some of the students that did submit to the project, their designs did not get through the judging components through the various entities. Potentially because of the quality of installation or the quality of design.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Thank you, Mary. Okay, anyone else? All right, I'm going to close public comment. Any final comments from council members?
I have a question.
Yes.
Yes, so speaking of judging, so please remind me who judged these artwork first or screen them before we get to this stage?
So I think Aaron can talk about how they sort through them, but staff did look at them first and gave some initial comments to Project 1111. And then it was the Parks and Rec Commission, and then, as you know, the ad hoc. Aaron, can you speak to your process internally?
Yes. Who judged the artwork? Is that correct?
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
question?
You know,
Yes.
to your point
So-
of students did not make it, I just want to understand the process.
Sure, sure. So out of the 150 designs that were submitted, our 1111's team of staff and curators goes through and whittles down the designs to about 50. From there, those 50 designs went through our board of directors, which is a team of 9. And they kind of go through, they all have art backgrounds, art educators, administrators, or curators, or artists themselves. They go through and they chose their top 30. That top 30 was then passed over to the Temple City team that we've been working with, and then through the various committees. From that 30, there were a few that were switched out, that were changed. So the 1111 team's decisions were not the final decisions. However, our, professionals went through and, assessed all of the various components. What I do think is really important to this project and to 1111's kind of curation and production of the project is we not only evaluate these designs based on design and kind of merit of artwork, but we are looking at, offering this opportunity to a diverse range of local people. So we are looking at all of the components. We want to make sure that the artists and the artwork is representative of the community that is being served by the artwork. So I just wanted to throw in there that it wasn't just based on the quality of design. We ensure that we're kind of, looking at all of the different components of putting a strong team of 30 artists together whose voices and artwork will represent the city.
I have a question and a comment after Vince is done.
Yeah, I have one more question. As was explained to us, submittal 10, 11, 12 were from the same artist. It appears to me 7 and 24 are from the same artist as well.
Yes.
Were there other ones that are from the same artist?
I'm sorry, can you repeat just your last
I was
comment?
just curious, besides those 5, were there other submittals that were from, in other words, did other artists submit more than one submittals that were included?
So I know number 3 and number 28 are also the
28.
same artist. Yeah. It's the red and white colored ones with kind of a cartoon look.
28, let me see.
Yeah, I apologize. It is still difficult for me to hear. Hopefully this is going to answer your question. There are a handful of quote unquote repeats of artists, right?
Okay.
I believe that there are 3 different artists that will be painting multiple designs or multiple boxes. The reason for this was when going through the ad hoc committee, the various kind of entities that these designs have passed through, they kind of highlighted specific artists' work that they preferred to others. So the request then was, oh, well, can we get this artist to do a second design because we love this one? 1111 is absolutely fine with that, and we agreed to it mainly because we happen to know these artists. We know that they're going to produce and install very professional work. So having them do multiple boxes because we've worked with them before, we feel very confident. If it were artists that we hadn't worked with before, we would maybe be a little more hesitant to put, let's say, 3 boxes on one artist's responsibility.
Right.
I'm wondering if anyone knows if the number 1 looks so familiar to the one in front of Chooses across the street from Camellia Square. I'm wondering if that's the same artist.
I don't know.
It's almost identical.
Could have been inspiration.
Maybe.
Plagiary.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Ben.
Okay,
Thank you.
so I'm a little confused. So I thought I heard our consultant say that we started with 150, more or less. That was pared down by their staff to 50, which then were 50 given to Parks and Rec and to our ad hoc, or were only 30? Because I thought I heard only 30 were given to Parks and Rec and ad hoc.
Yes.
So if that's true, to what extent did Parks and Rec and ad hoc do other than, okay, there's our 30 and pass it on to us?
So staff went through and took out 20 that they didn't feel would pass muster.
Staff meaning not the Parks and Rec?
And Los Tunas Streetscape. And
So
people who are
staff-
working on the Los Tunas
Who's
Streetscape
staff?
project.
Staff would be, on the Las Tunas side, would be me, Mr. Reimers, and other line staff as well.
Okay, so staff took those 50 that were given to us, pared that down to 30,
Yep.
and the 30 were given to Parks and Rec to do what with?
To provide comments on them
Okay, or changes,
or changes.
which they did.
Yes.
Okay.
And
And make
come up with
recommendations with
4.
26 minus 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after that process, we confirmed with the ad hoc on that as well. Or we showed those to the ad hoc.
Okay. And I thought I heard someone say that the goal was to be representative of the community, yet there is not one rendering here that deals with our schools, our sports, or our performing arts. I'm not sure how that got lost in the shuffle, but it appears that there's about, of the 30, almost 30% have parrots in them, which I guess we know that parrots are in Temple City, but you'd think we could have found one that dealt with the youth of our community in some way, but apparently not. And if the goal, and I thought I heard also that it wasn't necessarily the type of artists or the professionalism, I guess, but I find it hard to believe that of the 150 applicants, there wasn't one that dealt with school, sports, or performing arts. But
I think number 2 has a school bus, and
well,
the one near the Parrot, that really isn't City Hall. It does look somewhat like it could be a school.
okay.
I mean,
That's
it does
stretching
have
it a little bit, but
But that is
Okay.
the only one where I saw anything that referenced a school, but there is a school bus there.
Does Temple City even have school buses anymore?
No, but I think people know that
Okay.
it does have a Temple City insignia on it.
It is a challenge, and I would say that the ones that were removed from the design had images like cheetahs, which clearly have nothing to do with Temple City. So that's what we were kind of given to work with. We tried to pull out for you the ones that had the most Temple City orientation. We also asked and provided additional themes to 1111 to see if the artists could do some additional themes based on that. And we got additional designs that tried to pick up on some of those themes. So for instance, the one with Stephen Lindsay was a revision based on on our comments. The image that is entirely related to the Camellia Festival was something that was added based on staff's request for an additional image based on those themes.
But I'm looking at the themes, it doesn't appear that there were any themes related to schools or other extracurricular activities, like performing arts and things like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that was our fault then, that we didn't make that clear that could have been included in some of the renderings. What is the Wonder Years? Is that the TV show?
The Wonder Years was a TV show that they used the streets in Temple City and the houses in Temple City as
The backdrops,
Backdrops.
And the kind of thematic.
I thought it was filmed at Rosemead High School.
It was filmed at Rosemead High School, but the backdrops and the neighborhoods that were used were filmed in Temple City.
Nothing further, thank you.
I have one more question, if I may.
Yes.
Mr. Reamer, to Mary's point, how does submittal 10 for the peacock, how does that relate to Temple City? And does the artist explain the relationship?
Yeah, well, we were not given any communication from the artist about why they chose to change it as they did. The feedback from the ad hoc was very clear, but they decided to go in a different direction, and I can't explain why they chose a peacock over another animal.
What number was that one?
10. 10, 11, 12 are from the same artist.
Okay. And just to be sure, it's number 14 and 30 were chosen as backups, correct?
No, 4 of them.
I didn't see what were the other two numbers?
12, 14, 29, and 30. I think.
Yeah, 29,
Yeah,
30 both.
That's correct.
So you can choose one more as a backup.
No, that's 4.
14,
12, 14,
29,
29, and
There
30.
were
29 and 30.
29, 30.
That's 4.
That is 4.
I have one question from going back to that peacock. Since that's the 3 artists, I remember a discussion in the ad hoc regarding perhaps there are going to be 3 boxes that are going to be in the same block, and that it was going to be kind of a theme. Is there any consideration if we were to move one of these, one additional to be a backup, so that we could possibly bring one of the backup to be selected, since these 3 are all from the same artist, and I think there's been comments that number 10 ought not be there, and then number 12 is already selected as backup, thereby allowing us to, have more artists involved, and also, it kind of addresses the concerns that we all have here. Is there any consideration about that theme? Are we trying to, would that break up that kind of energy that we were trying to create in
No, if you wanted to make number 10 a a backup, that would be perfectly reasonable. Once the artwork is selected, then staff will be working with 1111 to figure out how they should be placed. So that's completely flexible.
And that would still give that artist one, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. I like that idea.
Okay. Yeah. Can we go back to the last page to see? I think among those two, I personally like the changes that were made in 29. I think I remember the skyscrapers. I like the color and I appreciate the artist making the chameleon more prominent. I appreciate the gazebo and the silhouette of the changes that were made. So rather than it being a backup, I'd like to see that be brought forward.
Are we selecting now, or what are we doing? I keep on
Well, we
hearing
were
people
still at,
omitting. I thought we were going to go through it one at a time.
no, I don't think we need to do one at a time. That would take forever to get
Well, it's
five
still
of
going
us
to
to
take forever
agree.
because it's the ones that I want back up are different from the ones Ed wants back up.
Can you tell us that your backup?
Well, no, because I
preferences?
got to go through them all again. We got a quick thing, and we're going back and forth. Some are recommended for backup, some are not, and
So what may I suggest, Mayor, really quickly, why don't we go through each panel of 4 real quickly, go through identify what we've identified as the backups, and if there's some differing opinion, we can note that as well and kind of go through one round and see where we're at. Is that okay?
Well, I think when we go there, let's see how many people vote for that as backup. And that way you can compare and vote. Because you may end up with 5 or 6 backup. You need to
That's a good
distinguish
point.
one
That's a
from
good
the
point,
other.
Councilmember Yu. Why don't we, if that, Mayor,
Yes.
I think that's a helpful suggestion.
Okay, so we're going to start with these
1, 2, 3, and 4.
and see if anybody would like
And-
one of these as a backup.
Yeah, and so far, of 1, 2, 3, and 4, none were suggested as a backup. Is everybody okay with that?
number 2, what is that on the top? Is that just a bunch of birds?
100 birds.
Yes.
What kind of birds are those? It's hard to tell what that is.
Looks like angry birds to me. Right? I mean, especially the red one in the middle.
Maybe those are Temple City High School birds.
Yeah. But I agree. The second panel with the parrot's head is a bit too busy.
Well, first of all, you're going to have half of the bird on one panel and the head on another, assuming that somebody's going to put those two together, I guess. But whereas some of these, like for instance, number 1 has a whole bird on each panel. Yeah, whatever.
Is there anyone who would like number 2 as a backup?
I don't even like number 2 as a backup or as a.
Okay, but
That's a
so
good
we're
one,
going to
but-
move it to backup for you.
Well, no, you don't have to move it back up for me. 'Cause
But you
I
don't
have-
like it
I
at
have
all.
4 other backups already.
I have 4 other ones too, so I'm okay with number 2, except
yeah.
that I agree it should be
Scott,
not as busy.
Pretty busy.
how soon do you need this approved?
The timeline is up to the council.
Okay.
Oh, I see. These birds are on every one of the panels.
Yes.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, that is
background.
busy.
I
And
think,
I would just take those birds out of there completely.
Well, but we have to view these in actual size. I mean, right now we're looking at them very condensed, right? Tiny little.
Well, those boxes aren't very big either.
Well,
Yeah,
they're.
may I interject? I just have a comment about sizing and design. I apologize. A lot of these designs are created, all of these designs are created on a single template. As Scott mentioned, some of the boxes are very, very small for the template that it was created on. So what is going to happen with designs that are very busy, like the one that you all are referring to, there is no way this busyness is going to be able to transfer to such a small box. So I think when we look at placing the designs on various cross streets, various intersections, various boxes, this is where 1111 does have a lot of experience in placing to ensure that we have quality installation. If we can give some of these designs bigger boxes, give the more simple designs smaller boxes, The other aspect that I wanted to mention is there will, once we assign each artist to a box, they will have to create an additional render. They'll have to lay out their new design because the dimensions are going to be completely different. So I guess I'm bringing this up just to say that the specificities of each design of this one is very busy, that one we don't like the colors, I'm wondering, I guess, how much are you all looking for then the artist to create an additional design to show? And how much are we able to kind of give some liberty to the artist based on what they have already submitted?
Well, is it going to be close or is it going to be completely different? I mean, you say give them some discretion to do a new design. Let's say the artist for number 2 decides to do a new design. Is it going to be something similar to what we're looking at now, or is it going to be something different? In which case, then why are we even discussing this?
I'm sorry if that was a question for me. I did not catch all of it.
It's okay. I'll pass.
I think we could be here till midnight, looking over, especially because Tom has already 4 different ones than the 4 that were recommended. Vince has different ones that should be moved to backup. I think if you can come up with some type of matrix and send it to each council member that basically, you come up with the answer of what everybody seems to want as a backup, because
So that would be a little bit of a Brown Act problem. So I think what we'd like tonight is if anyone has thoughts tonight, share them, and then staff can kind of collect everything and come
Okay,
back with a proposal.
perfect. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah, Mayor, I think if we can just go through them really quickly, so, because I don't know, I have it in front of my computer so I can flip back and forth, but not everybody can do that. But, so I suggest that we just go through the panels really quickly, and then each of us will write down who we think the backup, and then we
From
can
each
just
slide.
tally and do a matrix to see who get most votes. Then they are out.
And then that's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Tom?
That's
Sure.
So
Okay.
again, so if we start with this first panel, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And remember, this is not, they're out, for right now, they're just the backups. So,
Wait
Wait a
what's the
minute,
backups?
they're not the backups currently.
no, they're not the backups currently, but they would be. So whatever you're picking to exclude, it would be backup, because that would be, where 4 of them need to be backup for the 26, that would be the actual installations.
And Mayor, may I suggest we don't vote right now until we've gone through
Yeah. Thank
all
you.
the panels.
That's
We
an-
just jot
We
it
just
down.
jot down, and then because that way
So
we don't
if,
have to influence
jot down
each
if there's
other.
anything here you would like as a backup,
Yeah,
correct?
okay. Anybody like any of the 1, 2, 3, or 4 as a backup?
Okay.
No, we're
Is
we're
it
just
number
writing them
4?
down.
Is the bird in number 4, is that supposed to be a parrot, or what is that?
That's a parrot.
Is that a parrot?
It says
Yeah.
parrot on it, I think.
It does?
It does.
What is that writing there?
No, Tom's asking about number 4.
Number 4.
Oh, number 2, it says parrots. Do you see that on the parrot?
Yeah.
Do you see it?
No.
Yeah, it's on the body.
It's on the body of the parrot. It says
That was
parrot.
very
Number 4?
clever.
Number 2.
On
Well,
number
I'm talking about
2.
number 4.
Okay.
Number 4.
Are those parrots?
Looks like, well,
It's green.
they're meant to be
It's green.
parrots.
It's a parrot.
I think what's confusing me is the beak is same color as the background, so you're only seeing the green, but not the beak. If you see it with a beak, then you see it's a parrot.
So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. If we can move on to 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
And 8. There's 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Oh, wait.
Wait. Go back.
Who moved it?
What does the writing say on number 6?
That says Temple City.
Okay.
Yeah,
In the
literally
second
Temple
panel?
City.
The second
Yeah,
panel?
yes, that
This is
says
Temple
Temple
City.
City.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
accepted translation of our city's name.
Are we okay to move on to 9, 10, 11, and 12? Okay, we'll move on to 9, 10, 11, and 12.
By the way, I just did look up Las Tunas cactus, and is correct.
Well, I wasn't saying it wasn't incorrect, I just never heard of it.
Yeah, no, I never heard of it either, so that's why I looked it up.
Everybody got a good look at, all council got 9, 10, 11, and 12? Great, we'll move on to.
Well, wait, are we saying which one should be out?
No, I think you're writing down which ones.
We're just writing them down for
Yeah,
now?
and then we'll come back afterwards if that's was my understanding, right?
That's what my suggestion was.
We're writing down
Is
the
that
ones
okay?
we will
That's what
kick
I
out.
understood, Mayor.
All right.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Great. Everybody okay with 9, 10, 11, and 12 to move on? All right, we'll move on 13, 14, 15, 16. Everybody okay with 13, 14, 15, and 16? Moving on. 17, 18, 19, and 20.
Parrots again.
Everybody okay with 17, 18, 19, and 20? Moving on. 21, 22 is the astronaut. 23, 24.
I have a question on the astronaut one. Is that, the tan over the face, is that intended, or is that supposed to be like the face mask, or what is that? It seems like somebody put a sticky tab on it or something. I mean, is that part of the actual design?
That's what was submitted as the design.
Because it looks like it's, first of all, too big. It doesn't really conform.
Just
Other than
write
that,
it
it
down.
looks good.
Put
I
your
mean,
number down.
no, otherwise it looks fine to me.
22.
And is 23, is that supposed to be a camellia?
Yes.
I'm assuming?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Bees and Bermuda.
So that's 21, 22, 23, and 24.
Oh, wait, I stand corrected. There's 24 has celebrating music. So that's
yeah.
good. That's a good thing.
Yeah, this artist is the same artist as 7.
All right. Can I move on to 25, 25, 26, 27, and 28?
So for like 27, it doesn't have a top panel? Or do we just assume?
We'll have to work with the artist on coming up with a panel.
Okay, because there's a couple others that don't have a top panel as well.
We'll work with them. Okay to move on to the last few, 29 and 30? All right. Mayor, we've gone through everything.
Okay, before I had 5, now I have 9
Okay, you want to exclude
backups.
as backups? Okay. Well, we'll get them all down, Mayor, and we'll go from there, and we'll see what our marching orders are after. We'll see what our marching orders are after that.
Should we all come up with 4 or
Well, I-
multiple? Otherwise, we can't really compute.
That's what I was thinking when we were doing this, that if you land up with more than 4, it's gonna be here for a long time.
Yeah, I just pick 4.
I think that would be helpful.
So if we can just go through them once more, and I'll put a check mark, a double check by the
Okay.
ones I absolutely do not want.
Okay.
on my own
Out of the
list.
4 that you, okay. So
Okay.
here's 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
Moving on to 5, 6, 7, and 8. Moving on to 9, 10, 11, and 12. Moving on to 13, 14, 15, and 16. Moving on to 17, 18, 19, and 20.
Could you go back one? I'm sorry. Okay,
Good, Councilmember Chavez?
yeah.
17, 18, and 19, 20. Then 21, 22, 23, 24. And 25, 26, 27, 28. And the last two. All right. So we're ready, Mayor, when you are to hear from each council member and
Okay.
note each
So,
one.
Councilmember Chavez, what numbers do you have for your backups?
Keep in mind that these could eventually actually be chosen to go on a thing at some point. So it's like, we may end up with all four on a box.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing that bothers me the most, because I don't want to see a
Like-
couple of these at all.
Like backup jurors, right?
Well, maybe. Okay, so my, I don't like 10, 12, 29, and 30. I'm on the fence on number 15. If you could go back to 15 real quick, I'm not sure what that is supposed to reflect. Is that supposed to be a parrot or some kind of bird, I'm assuming?
I don't know, just put your number down.
Yeah, I don't know what, I hate to pick that one, but it's like the lesser of all evils, so. All right, well, I'll go with 10, 12, 29, and 30.
Okay.
And with a 15 as a maybe.
Councilmember Mann.
I really want to say these with a caveat, though, but I'll say them first. 10, 12, 14, and 26. So my caveat is, I think the series of 10, 11, 12 is a missed opportunity, like a total missed opportunity. Can you imagine 12 boxes with the 12 zodiac signs? And you have a 13 box with a parrot as a play on the zodiac signs. But then they went to a peacock of all things, right? And to me, that's just kind of a really disappointing turn in what could have been a really awesome series. Like taking that zodiac and making it something very Temple City. And yet here I am voting two of them out because those two completely don't match at all. So kind of like what Councilmember Chavez says, I'm kind of picking the lesser of the evils. And I agree with him. There's some here that I think I would add more to this list, to be honest. So I'm really curious, what were the others that were kind of paired out prior to the 30? Just because, I don't know, I'm just kind of imagining if this is what we're getting. I mean, we had 150 submittals, right? Yeah, it's too bad. It's too bad. Some of these are gorgeous. Like I think one is beautiful, and then there's others that are just kind of stretching it a bit in terms of where is that relevance. But the other problem I had were, as much as I love parrots and the joke of kind of parrots in Temple City, but more than half of these have parrots. So we're gonna have half of these boxes featuring parrots.
If I can say, I very much agree. I think that some of the notes from the previous committees did compromise some of the integrity of the designs. And I think that that's what we often see when there's a lot of kind of back and forth because everybody has an opinion, of course, and so one person likes it, the other person doesn't, and it gets very tricky to then go back to the artist a bunch of times, and their first design is usually the best because that's what they were inspired by.
Yeah. So, yeah. Thank you for that context. And there's Councilmember Chavez had an earlier comment about kind of these other elements that seem to be missing. And I feel the same way. I think coming off of our centennial celebration not too long ago, I feel like there's just so much richness in our local history and the city that could have been used as potential inspiration for much of this, but I don't know where that went awry. Why maybe artistically it's easier to depict parrots and camellias, so it's on almost every panel. But there was just a lot to draw from. Like I always think back at the mural that we did in 2016. I felt the mural was always, if you wanted like a concise capture of a lot of important elements reminiscent of Temple City, that mural was it, right? Did it capture everything? No, it couldn't have. But it was, for a small piece of artwork, it was able to capture quite a lot in one. And so I hate to compare maybe two completely different things, but just the result of it. Like, for example, there's only one mural depicting the red line, the streetcar. There's only one. I thought I would see more, or at least variations of that, or something that plays on the history of Temple City. Like we just have
Temple City artists.
Arcadia artists.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I when I saw this, I had a mixture of like excitement because there were some really gorgeous ones, and then also a bit of a disappointment in that there were others that I felt short. Yeah, and like for example, 29, I actually thought it looked better when the camellia was a watermark prior to that change, because at least it seemed to blend in better with the original theme, and I appreciate the change in the kind of silhouettes, right? So, I mean, yeah, we could be here till midnight if we keep talking about this, but yeah. Yeah, what I really wish is that the artist for the 10, 11, 12 motif was given the freedom to explore the 12 zodiac signs. But then the counter to that would be, well, then all of a sudden you got 12 boxes by one artist. And so does that run? But to me, I'm like, if it's a good motif, like why stop them? That's just sort of my take.
But I think we're here now, so this is what we're deciding upon, unless we decide to, I mean, that's always our option, is to go back and say, let's look at some of the 20 that were niched by the staff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Council member.
Yes, so I'll keep my comments really short since I was on the ad hoc and a lot of my comments had already been captured in the report. So 10 and 12, again, I think I concur. Just being able to allow more artists to come in, I think those are, I think much have been covered. So those are the only two that I have picked. But this discussion has kind of gone the way I felt that it would, in that I feel like I was quite excited when I was on the ad hoc, when I saw all these wonderful artwork come in, because I'm not an artist. I have my likings, but I saw that there had been a lot of, that these artists had received some of this feedback and was happy with some of the work that came in. And of course, this council, I think, cares deeply about our city and the image that it's going to be portraying on these boxes. So I think, diverse opinions, passionate opinions, this is exactly what I had expected. One thing, though, I think we talked about in the ad hoc was that perhaps holding some kind of a mixer reception with, perhaps sparkling cider and, crackers with some of these artists to come with just a printout of their artwork. I think that was something of interest by the ad hoc, and I think, like Mayor Pro Tem Mann said, some of these work are just gorgeous. They're amazing. I think really captures the essence of Temple City. I think my favorite was the the streetcar one, but the red car. Again, I'll just go back 10 and 12. I think much of the discussion had been discussed. Those
Can
were
we
the only
see
two.
10 and 12 again, please?
So you always have the option of replacing 10 and 12 with the ones that the Parks and Rec saw and that the ad hoc saw. So if you wanted to replace the peacock and the pigeon with the serpent and the dragon or the horse, you could do that. But
I don't know if a dragon and a horse would have made that much difference to your point, right? Okay. Council member?
so I'm sorry, Councilmember Chen, can I get the numbers? again?
10 and 12.
10 and 12.
Yeah, just two.
Okay.
I'll give my numbers first. Sorry. I'll give my numbers first. It's 12, 14, 26, and 30. It was actually I really like number 10. I think graphically number 10 is the strongest. So that's why I did not exclude number 10. I'm actually looking at the original submitter of 10, 11, 12, and like to Councilmember Chen's point, the original submitter I thought was stronger. So it's unfortunate.
You guys keep mentioning the original submittal of 10, 11,
because
and
we're on
12.
the ad hoc.
Where are those? I don't see those anywhere.
It's in the back of the
Is they're in it?
submittal.
Is it, oh, in the one we were told not to
That's
look at?
right there, yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
B.
right here, this
Okay.
one.
Oh,
This
okay.
one.
I thought we weren't looking at that, but.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So. But I just one last note. I just very excited to Councilmember Chen's point. When I first look at them, and I still look at them, I thought the quality is really good. I was excited. Having been to a little bit of creative business myself, I thought that it's hard to create art. And so I'm very excited about the submittal. I think they all did a good job, and thank you to Project 1111 and staff for getting us to this point.
One thing real quick, Mr. Reimers, and perhaps Project 11 could chime in. Regarding Mayor Pro Tem Mann's comment about what's on the cutting room floor, like, that were missed, is there any that might be worth reconsidering for, in terms of this process goes? Do you have any recommendation?
If you want to see the other designs, we can show you the designs that we saw. We could come back with that as a separate attachment at the next council meeting. And then you can see everything that we saw.
Not to complicate the matter, but I think we've given the four. I think each of us given our four, so there
I
could be some
haven't.
kind of.
You only gave
the
two.
method of it, yes.
You only
I only
gave
gave two. Yes. So I think there may be between all of us, and with the addition of Mayor's choice, there would be four according to the matrix that you may create. But to Mayor Pro Tem Mann's point, if there is something that was eliminated early on that kind of harkened to that theme of schools, extracurricular, sports, that could kind of make its way back in because of the expressed desire here.
I believe
that we
Scott
can-
said that they vetted those and that they didn't have any representation of Temple City.
Yes, our first goal was to find you things that were representative of Temple City, and there were some that clearly had no tie-in to Temple City, so we didn't think it was worth bringing to the Parks and Rec Commission. And some of them, the quality just was not where you would have expected it to be, so we didn't bring those to Parks and Rec Commission as well.
But I appreciate the suggestion.
Got it.
You could still do it if you prefer.
Let's hear yours.
Okay, I have 15, 10, 12, and 26.
Sorry, Mr. 10, 12, 15, and
15,
20.
10, 12, and 26.
15, 10, okay.
I had those 4 on my list too, but I had 7 altogether, so
I had more.
that's the problem. Yeah.
15.
I think we had 3 the same.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, well, just give us a quick.
Do you want to take a 5-minute break while you do that?
Yeah, if you don't mind, if the for the
okay?
council. Thank you so much.
We certainly do, and please, staff, please correct me if I misspeak here, but numbers 10, 12, and 26 have more than 3 votes.
3 or more votes, and 14 and 30 have at least 1 vote. Excuse me, at least have 2. Excuse me, 14 and 30 have at least 2 votes. So
So can we ask the council member who only chose 2 to choose another one?
Wait, so the ones 10, we have 10, 12,
and 26.
and 26. Can you show us 26 again? Oh, yeah, all right. And then there's 2 with 2 votes each?
Yes.
And that's 30 and
14 and 30.
14 and 30, okay.
Well, there's 14,
All right.
and there's 30.
30, okay.
Are we sure 26 we want to eliminate because we did talk about in the ad hoc of prioritizing Temple City artists and local artists?
But you didn't say that before.
That ship sailed, I think.
That-
So here's, if we're not, for consideration, here's again 14. If you want my, thank you. There's 14, and then 30 is the ones that got the 2 nods to be as backups.
I'd be more comfortable if we just bring it back to the full council for the 2, between the 2, rather than,
Between which 2?
14 and 30.
Okay, let me see 14 again. Is that a peacock? Oh. You liked 14.
My comments were in the ad hoc committee that it was dark, but I see when it's projected, I think it's different, but it's clearly Camellias and Temple City, so I'm fine with 14. Again, I'd like to bring it back to the full council for between the.
That's.
You, I'm not sure what you want to do. You want to go back now, right now, or 2 weeks?
Okay, so I think what he's saying is, we all agree on 10, 12, and what was the other one?
26.
26, that was the leaving both bidders. And now what Ed's saying, I think, is it's gonna come down to maybe 2, one of those 2 being put into the bullpen, so to speak, 14 or 30. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And is asking.
And we would all vote.
On
Okay,
those.
I'll take, like, for example, okay, I would eliminate 30. And William will eliminate 14.
Okay, let's see 30 again.
I'm okay with that. Are those supposed to be clowns?
And we're going to do 14 one more time?
Okay, I didn't have 30 on my list, but how many of us had the other one, 14? 2?
2.
Only 2 of us had 14?
2 had 14 and 2 had 30.
Okay, I'll do 14.
Okay.
You're gonna eliminate 14?
Yes. I changed my numbers.
And keep 30?
Yes. No, eliminate 30 and keep 14.
Oh, okay, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Now what does that do?
We'll need, we'll need to hear from the other.
I would eliminate 30 and keep 14.
Okay.
William?
William wants to get rid of both.
want to bring back the snake, but it's just me.
Next go around.
I like the original design for that one. Oh, are we
It's
we
your
asking
turn, yeah.
14
Between
or
30 and 14.
I prefer 30.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to keep 30.
Keep
I'd rather
30.
keep 30.
I'll keep 14 and eliminate 30.
So I'm the minority here. Eliminate 14. Or 14 goes back up. So
Now what does that do?
it's 3-2.
You get 3-2 on that one. So that one stays at 30. So at this point, the ones as backup are 10, 12, 26, and 30. Don't need that as a motion, do we? Okay, we don't need that as a motion. We just have that as the direction of the council, if that's okay. Great. I think unless you have any other questions of staff or our consultant, thank you.
Well, I think there was
We
a
have a
question.
motion on here.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, you do. Sorry, Mayor. Yes.
Okay, so who would like to make that motion?
Go ahead.
Take a stab at it. I think I just want to preface that motion with the staff and consultant did a lion's share of the work. Great job. Thank you. Of course, this council cares very deeply about the work and its image that we're portraying to the community. And hopefully the artists that are watching a replay of this video know that we're all just passionate Temple Citians making that decision. That said, I move to approve 26 pieces of artwork as the primary designs, the remainder as backup designs and attachment A for use in the Art on Boxes campaign, ABC or campaign as part of the Las Tunas Drive Streetscape plan.
And can we just note the ones, 10, 12, and 26? 10, 12, 26, and 30 are the backups.
Yep.
Thank you.
Second that.
May we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Chavez?
Yes.
Councilmember Chen?
Yes.
Councilmember Yu?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Man?
Yes.
Mayor Sternquist?
Yes. Yay, it's accomplished.
May we still ask a question since Aaron is here with us?
Erin, are you still here?
I am, yeah.
So there was an earlier question, I don't know, we heard the answer, was that the artist would be paid by 11/11, right? Do we know what magnitude there is? Is that something that we,
Aaron, what is the question what is the per price, per artist piece on average you are, or not on average, what are you paying each of the artists?
I'm so sorry. I'm not able to understand. I think it's the microphones, honestly. I'm so sorry.
Erin, what is the cost per artist? What fee do they get?
Oh, thank you. Each artist gets $750.
Thank you.
does that include the installation?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's for the artwork and the artist materials.
So artist materials,
Yeah, they're paid about $750 to not only to prepare the artwork but also to prepare the materials, to purchase the materials, and to install the actual artwork.
Okay.
thank you. All right, and I think you can leave now, Erin, if you'd like.
All right, thank you all so much. I'm happy to answer any other questions via email. I apologize for my terrible speaker on this one, but thank you for having me.
Thank you. All right, we move to item 11, update from the city manager.
Thank you, Mayor Sternquist.
You did it.
All right, one of those evenings. Mayor Sternquist, members of the council, just a couple updates. As you know, we went through a significant windstorm this last January. A lot of trees went down throughout the community. Staff has been working very diligently in replacing those trees that have been downed. If you have a tree that has been down, or we have a program where if you would like a tree as well, please let us know. We do have certain tree species that we know we work. We have a certified arborist on staff, Kevin Magana, who assists in that process along with Mr. Matsumoto. So if we haven't hit your street or accidentally we missed your street that where a tree went down, we do catalog them. Please let us know. We'll be doing and we're trying to get things done soon. The planting season is kind of at the end cycle here, so we're trying our best that we can to do that.
I have a question, may I, Mayor? Yes. So you're asking folks to ask, but you know which one have come down, right?
Yeah, no, the ones that have come down, we're replacing.
Okay.
Yeah, we're sorry. Thank you. Let me clarify that. Thank you, Councilmember. The ones that have come down, we are replacing. But if you are looking, if you didn't have a tree before and you're on your street or in the public right of way that you would like, we can evaluate it, look at it, and plant one. So we're on our way. We should be done. We want to be done soon because the planting season, the time for that is, we're cutting it pretty close here. We want to get it before it gets hot and dry. So that's what we're working on. You may have seen we reached another milestone. It has been a very complicated project, and kudos to Mr. Matsumoto and our TransTech team and the contractor and the playground equipment manufacturer. This is the one-off, one-of-a-kind structures anywhere. And we reached another milestone this week with the main structure itself, how it's hinged together, how it's braced. So we're really happy with that milestone having been reached in the last week. Weather permitting, everything else, the pour will happen, the rubberized surfacing. That is going to take some time because if you remember the intricate design of that pour, it's not just putting down a slab, or not that Primrose's doesn't have a nice pattern to it, but it is a complicated pour. So that's our next big milestone, and I'll give you a better date soon as to when we will do a grand opening. On the other project side, we are on the finishing touches of the roof project, but everything seems to be functioning well for a roof that works really well. Thank you to the council. Thank you, Councilmember Yu and others who have helped us through this project as well. And thank you to the TransTech team. Thank you to Scott Reimers, who was the project manager on the executive side as well, who shepherded through what was a complicated project, essentially putting a 2025 roof onto a 1960s building. And it was a complicated, while you would think generally without understanding the complications of what that meant, it was a complicated project. And thank you for the council to giving us the allowances to make some decisions in the field as well that helped us for a building that we hope will last several more decades and keep the longevity of servicing the community for a long time. So thank you for that. That's it for me tonight.
Thank you.
Mayor Sternquist.
We move to our update from our city attorney. Thank you. Item 13, council reports regarding ad hoc or standing committee meetings. Do we have any?
No, ma'am.
The audit committee will be meeting this Friday to discuss the audit findings with the auditor.
Tom, did you, I was going to say, were you and William were liaisons to the school district?
Yes.
For the standing committee?
Standing committee?
Yes.
Yeah, but we didn't have a meeting. We had
No,
a
I
joint
mean,
meeting.
The joint meeting, will one of you share that
We were all there.
with the public?
Oh. I didn't bring my notes, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Anyway, the city council and the school district met, and we had a productive joint meeting. Going forward, we're asked to see if there were some things that we would like to put on the agenda. So if you two would work with the school district, I guess, on that. All right. Council items separate from the city manager's regular agenda. Councilmember Chavez?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Councilmember Chen?
Just want to say, since our last law enforcement summary meeting, I know the sheriff had an operation and they had a great arrest. So just want to thank our sheriff's team as well as Major Crimes Bureau that deployed and came out for that burglary suppression.
Okay, great. Councilmember Yu,
Nothing to add tonight. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem?
I'm just looking at my notes here. So on Saturday, a couple of us were at the grand opening for, I don't know what to call them. Are they a market or they're called iTaiwan Foods, apparently. So it's in the TJ Maxx Plaza. And I don't recall what store it was previously there, but they had a grand opening, and it was interesting just because I've never been to their other locations. I wasn't aware they had other locations in, I think Rowland Heights was one. But I guess they specialize in imported foods strictly from Taiwan. I'm trying to represent them accurately. It was exciting. I didn't expect that much pomp and circumstance for a store, but I'm happy to see them open. I actually went by on the weekend just to see how they were doing, and they were actually pretty busy for such a small store. So encourage everyone to check it out. And Mayor, when you brought up the joint school district meeting, it took me a little bit of time to register, because like Councilmember Chavez, I was thinking of the standing committee. But I think for the joint meeting, what I really appreciated about it was the information sharing. And I think we noted that the last time prior to that meeting we had met was, what, 7 years ago? And so I think our takeaway from that was to try to schedule this at least once a year. So try to look for opportunities where, because I think the five of us here thought it was good to have that, and I want to say our colleagues from the school board also agreed. And us trying to work with them on a multitude of issues like the e-bikes, safety for the students, and so on and so forth. So all in all, a good meeting. Thank you.
Mayor, I'm sorry, I did have one thing I forgot. Last Thursday, the youth committee did meet, and we were honored to have Ben Long, owner of Starbucks, come and speak to the kid. I want to call them kids, but young students. Also, Ben, as you know, is the president of Temple City Chamber of Commerce, and gave a good talk on just business in general, what the chamber's up to. Students had a lot of great questions, so I want to thank Ben for coming and doing that. So it was nice to have him.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. I forwarded to Peggy for the Youth Commission that Mike Fong is having his Young Leaders Program.
I sent that already.
Did you send it? So do we have some 10th graders in 11th, or are most of them seniors?
Most of ours, well, we have a few, we have a couple of freshmen, a few, one or two sophomores, and the rest are juniors and
Well,
seniors.
maybe they'd apply.
We might, yeah, we'll certainly share it with them. Thank you.
Okay, I'd like to see some of them there. A couple of years ago, we had their celebration here at the Women's Club, so maybe we'll have some of them to celebrate with. There was one other thing. Oh, attended, along with Jerry, of course, taking pictures, the Temple City's Got Talent, and I brought flyers if you wanted to see who participated. But I was just so impressed, and mostly impressed with the age of some of the youngsters who had so much confidence. I mean, they were from 2nd grade to, 5th grade, and I thought, gee, for them to go up and sing and dance at that young age is really great. So we have a lot of talent, a lot of piano players too. All right, I think that is it for me, and we move to
Mayor? Excuse me, Mayor.
additional public comments.
I'm sorry. Before we move on, can we do the establishment of the city commissioner recruitment ad hoc,
Oh.
please?
Did I miss it? I saw it, I had the list here, but it was on consent. No? Item 13? Oh, I see. Establish City Commissioner Recruitment Ad Hoc Committee. That was, we need to do that. Any ideas? Any volunteers?
Who did the last ad hoc?
I think Tom did
I did.
last time. And who was with you, Tom?
Councilmember Chen.
Councilmember
Councilmember
Chen.
Chin. Would you like to do it this time, William?
Sure, I'll volunteer.
Anybody else want to volunteer? Tom did? Okay. Are you okay with that?
Sure.
Okay. So we'll have Councilmember Chavez and Councilmember Mann.
Mayor
Thank
Pro
you.
Tem.
Mayor Pro Tem Mann. Thank you. Yes, thank you. All right. Any public comment from anyone? See no public comment, we are adjourned.